just explore the land beyond the river. As you know, I've been living out on my 25 acres now for over 2 months as I begin building an off-grid house. Things are in full bloom and the build site has just been cleared, as you can see here. I figure we've watched enough footage of excavators ripping down trees over the past 2 weeks, so in this video I head to the back 40, into the thick of bug season to get a better idea of what lies beyond the river that runs at the back of the property. This land will remain in a fully natural state as long as I'm here anyways. Lots of you have been asking about this sort of a video, so here we go. Let's do it. Let's get back there as far as we can. And just before we do that, I had to clean up some of the downed trees near my tent. Because of the new clearing I'd made, the wind has been taking out trees left and right, and due to the increased breeze in here now, everything is changing and you gotta keep your eye out. For those who have been following, you know I'm currently away on the high seas at work, for a couple weeks anyways, so before I go, there's just a couple items of housekeeping I gotta do, like this. And as much as I love my brand new driveway, the winds we've had have been a reminder that it ain't exactly going to be maintenance free to drive this thing. But this is nothing compared to what the snow season is going to bring. The new driveway has also brought the reality that I've created a way in to my place, so the no trespassing signs have to go up while I'm away. And so are my trail cams. If you know my story, you'll know that my first cabin got robbed pretty bad by locals, so trail cams and signs are the bare minimum to have up when I'm gone. Anyways, let's go. Away from this rock, and by the way, this rock is where the house will be anchored into. And I'm going to walk as far back as I can get into the property today. A little hike leads me to the lean-to shelter I made. The bugs may not look it on camera, but they're pretty unbearable. I regularly need to shower myself in this bug spray. Folks around here use 30% DEET to tolerate the outdoors this time of year. My can isn't anywhere near 30% DEET, so I'm definitely going to have to reapply as I go on this walk. And since I made a little pit stop here, I thought I'd give my friction fire kit a try. I had quite a few attempts on this one and the bugs drove me a little bit crazy while I tried. I managed to get a coal eventually, but as you know in my previous videos doing this successfully, you really have to be careful with it. Well, mine eventually died out, so I was so close yet so far. No fire this time. You can only sit still for so long, trying to blow a coal into life in the mayhem of bug season anyways. So on we go, way back to the river. I'm always clearing these low branches as I walk. For one, it acts as a location marker, and it just makes walking way easier, frankly. So here I reached the spot where I cut a pile of trees not too long ago for a separate cabin I want to build in the future. And the spot where I burned loads of brush as well. After this point in the property, the forest notably begins to change. The bugs are equally as bad along this entire walk, regardless of terrain, in case you're wondering. But the forest begins to open up and becomes much more lush as you go. The hardwood, in other words deciduous trees, flourish here and create an open yet shady canopy. I can't believe how much it's changed in here since I first started coming back here in March. And once you pass through those hardwoods, you arrive to the wild river. About 600 meters or 1,900 feet or so into the property. This is where I've had my trail cam set up and where the moose carcass has been until the bear finished it off last week. It's a really nice view here and always worth the walk. But I don't know what lies 400 meters beyond me. I've never even walked down to that river. And yeah, the bugs are killing me. I'm not gonna lie about that. Thankfully, they're only this intense for about a month or so. And here's the river. I've never made it to the other side. I don't even know if it's possible, though I think it's probably not on foot. So I decided to give it a go anyways. The bugs are especially bad down here now. The ground here is definitely a bog, wet, spongy. You can't tell if you're gonna sink 1 foot, 2 feet, or an inch with every step you take. So it's pretty slow going. I kept close to this tree here because I know that the tree roots will have solid ground around them, and turns out I was right. I've never been this far in. Oh, look at that. The river is right there. It's the farthest in I've been to the property. Oh my God, these bugs. Brutal. But yeah, it's pretty mucky. I mean, here's what I'm walking in. This is actually a good spot. But I could almost get across there, but I would just sink down in the mud. My body wants to keep walking, but I'm actually right at the water's edge now. Very cool. I have never been this far. Wow. My camera's back there on the ground on the left there. I don't know if you can see it. There's bugs crawling all over my freaking phone. Oh my God, get off the phone, dude. There we go. So here we are. Very buggy down here, getting relentlessly attacked. Don't think I'll be able to get across, but I will fly the drone in there. It's the very least I could do. Beautiful spot, my God. It's a classic for this part of the world. Marshy with the river going through it, you know. Oh. Yeah. Mushy stuff. Very mushy. Mushy is a good word for this. Very, very mushy. If you know a tree's in the way, like this one, you can sort of tell that the ground is going to be better there because, you know, a tree wouldn't get rooted into mushy ground. Here we go. Well, looks like I'm not going to be able to get across, at least this time of year. So for now, I'm going to get this drone going. The best time to get out there is probably going to be mid-January when it's all ice and snow. I don't know what's back there. My guess is more forest, perhaps. But it'd be cool to get some details. Nice. Some great shots of this river. I've never actually flown the drone out here. It's usually way too far from my reception when I put it up in the air by the build site. And so there it is, the river and the marsh in all its glory. Across the way is the mystery. I've seen it only on maps. It looks like glorious hardwood forests, like the spot I showed you earlier. I own about 100 meters past the hardwood stand there as well. I spotted this awesome bedrock patch hiding in there too. Looks like a great campsite or build site down the road. And there's those beautiful hardwoods. I also spotted this little hidden stream running through a bog, in behind a forested piece of land. From my view on the ground, I'm not able to see this. It meanders a long way before reconnecting to the main river. The bright green trees there you're looking at is a beautiful lush hardwood stand for sure. And like I said earlier, I own beyond that as well. So it's good to know I've got another nice hardwood stand to go to if I want. Well, I got curious and decided to fly the drone down into the cool hidden bog. And yeah, it looks awesome in there. Definitely inaccessible, but a beautiful spot for sure. And another angle coming in towards me. A little bit of a round trip. There I am on that rock there. And I do like to crash my drone once in a while. Actually, I crash it a lot, I'm not gonna lie. I know, the trip was too short. We still need to do an in-depth exploration out there. But this ain't the time of year to do it. The bugs in the wet ground are just making it way too hard right now. So I'm gonna head back to the tent. So it remains a mystery. I still need to set foot out there. What lies beyond that wall of trees? Well, according to the quote at the beginning by John Muir, an entirely new world. And I couldn't agree more. And when all is said and done, I'm happy to leave all that land to the animals anyways. So we'll get there soon, folks. I'm aiming for a winter snowshoe trek and a nice winter camp out there. And to wrap up this video, as always, I'm going to answer your questions now. All right, folks, welcome to my tent this time for the Birch Scroll questions. I have committed your questions and comments to fine ink here on my scroll of birch paper, and we're going to go through a couple of them. I'm not going out there to do this because the bugs are just too bad. It's a party. It's a full-on party, and they're all trying to eat me. The deer flies, the mosquitoes, and some black flies still kicking around. It is a full-on feasting frenzy out there. Anyways, as you know, I've mentioned, I'm in Scotland this week, working for 2 weeks on a ship. And I'm going to be with passengers, and I'm going to be driving Zodiacs and playing music. I've been doing this sort of a gig for about 3 or 4 years now. And this is the first year I'm saying no to most of the trips, and I'm staying here, getting this job done. So anyways, let's jump into some questions here. And as my new tradition, I'm going to take an insult, put that on the Thunderbox where it belongs. And because actions speak louder than words, think about it. And I'm going to take a nice comment, commit it to paper, and that's going to go up in my future home. So here we go. Without further ado, Christine Winner says, "Are you not afraid that a bear will break into your tent? I heard people get eaten by them." Fair, Christine. There's different types of bears that do different types of things. So polar bears, you're always on the lookout. They are very predatory. They will eat you. Grizzly bears, on the fence, they're more dangerous than black bears, which is what is here. But to go into your tent and eat you, still a bit of a stretch. And where I am, black bears at the lowest risk, though still not off the table. It's something that doesn't really happen. Black bears aren't predatory in nature. They evolved with all kinds of creatures that were trying to eat them, so black bears learned how to climb trees. Black bears are omnivores. They eat a lot of berries. They eat some meat. They will kill moose calves. They'll eat fish. They'll eat, meat that's lying around. They'll eat anything. So the main thing is don't have food in your tent and you'll be okay. That is a general rule of thumb. That's why my food is way over there. And it also happens to be downwind from my tent too, which sort of helps keep the bears, if they're going to go anywhere, they're going to go over there and stay away from here. So thanks, Christine, for the question. A lot of you have been mentioning the price. I told you what my driveway cost in the last video. It cost about $30,000, just over, maybe $32,000. And that's for the driveway, all that gravel, all the clearing for the driveway, all the clearing of this build site, all the clearing for the septic and excavating for the septic, though not the tank and all that stuff, but it covered the excavation for it. And they hauled out all the brush and they left me the logs I wanted. So it's a massive job. And yeah, it is a good price. I feel like it worked out super well. I'm happy. Sometimes you got to pay a lot of money, but you get a lot back for that. So just wanted to make that note. Lake TV George, my new favorite channel. Thanks from an older English woman who yearns for nature. Glad to help you out there, Lake TV George. Another one. Will you be getting Starlink? This one's from Moving Kinda Slow. Great name. Will you be getting Starlink? I think so. If there's something better that comes along, I'll get that. Yeah. I'm part of the crowd that doesn't necessarily want to give all my money to good old Elon Musk's companies. That might annoy you if I say that, it might not. Anyways, whatever. The main thing is I need internet and there's bad reception out here, so I'll probably end up getting it because it's pretty cool what it does. So I think that's a yes. Anytime soon? No. I'm going to stick with my good old terrible internet for the next couple months probably. And then I'll think of getting Starlink. All right, Norse Saga 1984 writes, "Beautiful music. Who are your favorite bands or musical artists?" Well, I've got a long list. Depends on my mood, depends on the day. As long as it's really great music, I like it. Put it that way. A go-to for me is always good old Stan Rogers, an amazing folk songwriter from Canada. If I'm going classical, I love listening to classical guitar music. I would listen to David Russell play Bach all day long. If we're going into heavier stuff, soft spot for good old Metallica and Korn and Type O Negative. These are like metal bands. It's all over the place. And then I like alternative music like Weezer and Green Day and any old folk. One of my favorite things to listen to is traditional folk music. Stuff that's basically really old. That's just been sung forever. Songs from the UK, or more specifically, Scotland and Ireland. I'm really into that right now, probably because I'm going on the Scotland trip. Anyways, it's all over the map. But my go-to, to circle right back, good old Stan Rogers from Canada. Absolutely. Jill Quigley says, Jill Quigley 49, please get yourself a more woods appropriate seat for a fireside question time. Yeah, and I definitely failed on this one too, I know. because I've been sitting on a bucket. Reckon you've probably got a stump or two you can use. Yeah, I've got some in the log pile now thanks to the excavator. So otherwise, big ones are hard to come by for sitting on. But yeah, I'm sick of sitting on that bucket. We need a proper chair out there. And I'm just going to comment one last general comment. There was quite a few people who actually said, "Hey man, we're out of here. We're unsubscribing because you used an excavator in your forest, and that's like sacrilegious." I hear your point, but I think you're dead wrong. Do I like the thought of using an excavator to clear cut a huge piece of land? No. I cleared less than an acre of land here, and the driveway was also some clearing. So let's say tops, I've cleared an acre of land out of 25. I still have 24 acres of completely wild land. And within this space, I need light for solar panels so the trees can't stay. If you want to be on solar, you can't keep your trees in front of your house. You can't. Otherwise, your solar power is not going to work. That's the cost of being environmentally friendly, ironically. If you want to build a proper foundation, like a poured cement pad, like I've got, like that I'm planning on doing, you need a big space to get that job done. On and on it goes. The well guys have to come in. The cement truck's got to come in. I need a place to put all my materials. Also, I'm deep in bug country here. To have a breeze is glorious. You need a breeze. You need light, you need breeze, you need variation in the landscape. And that's what clearing this spot did. It's not a huge clearing. It's hard to watch the trees come down, yes, but I can't just tiptoe around the forest like I did the first time because this is going to be way more involved. This is going to be like old meets modern in the fact that I'll be in a log house, but I'm using all the modern stuff to make that happen. So just wanted to make that comment. And folks, thanks for watching. As I said, I'm away. This was just kind of a for fun video this week, and I'm going to be leaving this tent and I'll be sleeping on a ship. How fun is that? Hard to believe. I haven't left here in like almost 3 months, it feels like. I think it has been almost 3 months. So I'll leave you with my top comment and my top insult. And I will see you in 2 weeks. I will not be doing a video next week if you've been following along weekly. I will be on the water somewhere without reception likely. So have a good day, folks, and thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.